Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's digital plan with me. I finally had time to sit down and plan out the week, which has been much needed. So, funny story, I did this whole voiceover and everything last night. I was ready to put this up this morning, but while I was doing my voiceover last night, I just went into an awful coughing fit for like 5 minutes straight, and it's really difficult unless I'm just doing it wrong, which is entirely possible. I have trouble like editing a voiceover on top of a screen recording. I'm probably overcomplicating it because that's just what my brain likes to do. But yeah, so I decided to scrap that voiceover and just redo it this morning. It's really early in the morning. It's about 7. Just a little disclaimer when it's Friday, September 8th, that I'm doing this voiceover. Just a little disclaimer. The kids are just starting to like wake up and people are getting ready for the day. Andrew's getting laundry going and there's just things going on. But I wanted to pop in real quick and do this voiceover before we start our homeschool. Today we're just doing morning basket and we're kind of keeping it a little lighter today. So yeah, I figured I had some time to sit down and kind of get this up for you guys. I really want to get my Plan With Me's up on Fridays. I may change the time a little bit. Uploading first thing in the morning just doesn't give me a whole ton of wiggle room, but I do like to get my new releases up earlier on Wednesday, so I don't know. You guys, I have been over here just overcomplicating like everything in my life. I don't know why. It's just my brain does this to me sometimes where I just overthink things too much. And like with YouTube, I feel like when I first started YouTube, every time I had a couple other channels before this one, because I used to budget in every dollar, and so I had a channel for that. I had a channel for like motherhood type of stuff, and this is the channel I've had for like the longest. One of them I shut down, and then the other one got hacked, so that's really fun. It's still up, it's just hacked, and I don't have access to it. But so I never like paid any attention to views or subscribers or any of that. Like I really worked on just not getting too caught up in numbers, because I feel like when you get too caught up in numbers and analytics, it can just kind of suck the joy out of it for you a little bit. And I'm doing this mainly for fun, and this has been my struggle with YouTube a little bit, because as a business owner, I totally understand that there's a time and a place for things. You want to keep things professional and all that kind of stuff, but it's been weird with YouTube. Oh, watch, I'm gonna go into a coughing fit. Oh my gosh. I filled up my water. It's right next to me. I'm getting over this like cold I've had, and these coughing fits just happen like randomly, and they tend to happen when I'm talking. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that does not happen. So anywho, what was I saying? So yeah, you want to keep things professional and avoid like sensitive topics, but I've always just been so personal in my channel, and I've been very open. Like I've cried with you guys on camera and stuff like that, and I feel like that's where my heart is, and that's just who I am as a person. I've always been a very open book, but I've also like realized like you have to keep your guard up a little bit, which is really sad, but like I'm just realizing that there's people who discover what your weaknesses are, and then they like to take advantage of those weaknesses, if that makes sense. Or like if you're too nice of a person, people will take advantage of that and different things. And so unfortunately, there's just people out there that don't have the best of intentions and can be malicious and like be like wolves in sheep's clothing, if you will. And I've been really asking the Lord to reveal that to me, to help me kind of trust my gut more when it comes to that. So when you put yourself out there too much and kind of talk a little bit too much about your personal life, it just kind of opens you up to all sorts of different things. And the thing is like we're all just so different, and we all live different lives, and we have different priorities and things like that. And, you know, and I totally respect other people's viewpoints and stuff. I think we're all just trying to do the best we can in this life, and we're all trying to just stay happy and safe, and we have different ways of going about that, and that's fine. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of going off in a random tangent. What I was kind of getting to, and then I went off and veered off here, was I feel like I've been really paying attention in the last like 6 months or so, a lot more to, you know, analytics and stuff, and partially because, not because I'm like expecting, or I'm like, I have a goal of growing immensely and being this like, you know, YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers. Like, I've never had that goal. I've never aspired to that goal. I'm all about just like the organic growth. You know, whoever is here, I just appreciate each and every one of you, and that's all been it. Totally fine with having 1,000 subscribers. I'm totally fine with having 10 subscribers. You know, the fact that anyone is listening to me ramble is amazing, and it's a huge blessing. So thank you. But I think what I've been trying to do is really, because my time is so limited these days, you know, I'm homeschooling 2 kiddos. I have a 3rd grader and a preschooler. And so we're homeschooling. That's been a new journey. Of course, I run my business, Planning to Prosper, which is the sole financial provider for my family. So there's a lot of pressure on that. And, you know, it's just me really that's designing and creating products and stuff like that. I do have a team who I appreciate so much, who helps me put the sticker kits together and things like that. And then now my husband's helping out a little bit more too with just some various admin things and social media and stuff like that. So I do have support and help, which is tremendous, because I can't imagine, I can't imagine doing everything. And I think I've just like, you know, put too much on my plate. So I've really been paying attention to, you know, what products are really in demand, what is really like needed right now in the community, what are people looking for. And that's what made me rule out, you know, the dark mode products, because a lot of time gets put into creating those. But at the end of the day, if they're not really selling, as much as I would absolutely love to always have whatever you need available to you, if you're a dark mode user, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I don't think I'm going to just like kick them out of the shop. I think I'm just going to create a folder with all the dark mode products. So you'll still be able to get the dark mode hub and the dark mode 1-month planners that are undated at least, and like the add-ons and stuff. So I think I'm just going to keep them in the shop because I don't want to completely take them away. But, you know, a lot of extra time gets put into creating stuff for dark mode, and I don't have extra time right now, you know, so I have to really focus my time in on what is needed the most, and I have to be really good about prioritizing, and I have to be really good about boundaries. So I have like some very firm boundaries with technology and stuff. You know, I'm on do not disturb pretty much all the time. I don't have my phone out unless I'm actually working in my office. Like I have actual office hours that I'm sticking to, and I've become a lot more difficult to get a hold of because of that. And I feel bad, but it's like, it's so easy to just, you know, be sucked into my phone all day. Like I don't go onto social media at all anymore. I create posts and stuff like that. I do go into our Facebook group. I'm trying to be better about going into our Facebook group, you know, every day and just kind of poking in there, because I feel like we're so active in there that things can kind of get lost. And I just want to like let you guys know, like, I'm here, you know, I'm present. So I'm trying to be better about that. But other than that, like it's just too easy for me to go back and forth in conversations via text or via Etsy messages and troubleshooting and stuff like that. And I'll end up working outside of my work hours. And I can't do that because, first of all, like if I'm homeschooling, there is no tech anywhere in sight. All of it is up in my office away We have dedicated iPads for homeschool or one iPad for homeschool that my daughter watches her like lessons and stuff like that on, or we watch some certain like videos, like we're doing hymn studies, so we'll go on YouTube and search the hymn, but it's all signed out of my like business stuff. There's no like social media apps on there. I have messages completely shut off on those devices. So literally it's just my kids can log on and just get what they need to get. And that's it. There's no extra stuff on there at all. So, but that's just kind of what I have to do right now in order to stay focused and to be able to prioritize and also take care of myself too, because I'm just not really willing at all in any way, shape, or form to sacrifice like my own health for anything anymore. Like I need to be 100% and healthy and good to be able to do all of this, to be there for my kids, to homeschool, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so anyways, that's kind of why I started really paying attention to the analytics and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, I don't know, I miss doing the day in the lives. I miss being more open and personal with you guys. And so that's what made me think of the membership. And I think I am still going to do the membership to be able to talk about more sensitive topics and things like that. But there's just so much going on in my personal life that I haven't shared with you guys just because it is more personal in nature. And I just wasn't sure like what the right like place for that would be. But God has a tendency of putting it on my heart quite a bit to share. And he's been really putting it on my heart lately to be bolder with my faith and to talk more openly about my testimony. And this past year, I've mentioned in other videos, but this past year has been a big year for spiritual growth for me. And it all started, like, honestly, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it all started just with my weight loss journey, because if you guys are not new here, you know, weight loss and stuff like that has been a struggle of mine for years now. I have a food addiction, just to be totally honest with you guys. And I used food to kind of be to like self-medicate essentially with depression I was going through and stuff. And so I would turn to worldly things around me, look up articles about intermittent fasting, watch this YouTube video, watch these like Weight Watchers videos, and just turning to everything but God for help in that area. And I was just really, really convicted, like, why am I looking out at the world when I should be looking up to our Creator, to the Father, to help me with this? And then God, who has a tendency of doing this, further convicted me to think about everything that I'm consuming. It's not just what I'm eating that is, contributing to my downward spiral with mental health and physical health. It's also, what am I watching? What am I reading? Who am I hanging out with? Who am I spending time with? That kind of thing. And so it's really brought on this big just shift in mindset and this huge change. A lot of hard moments of looking at myself in the mirror and being just brutally honest with myself, and kind of going to some extremes, to help with those areas that some people would probably make fun of me for, and that's fine. But, just an example of that being, I don't read anything that has anything trashy in it anymore. I've never really liked those books, like the spicy, steamy books. I've never really cared for those as it is, but I really stay away from it now. And just watching, any sort of show that would give an unrealistic expectation or, just wouldn't align with my values. And this is pretty big, I've stopped cursing. You guys don't hear me curse very much on YouTube because, I don't do that here. But if you know me in my personal life, you know that I love me some curse words. And it's not like I'm a sailor, I'm not cussing constantly, but I've stopped doing that. I felt really just like really wanting to pay attention, close attention to and studying the book of James. If you guys are familiar with the book of James, you know how convicting that can be. But just controlling the tongue, you know, what's coming out of my mouth. Is it providing good? Is it, you know, being a good listener, less talking, more listening, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's all. It's all been a huge thing, and it's a huge part of my life, and it's something I want to open up to you guys about. But I've learned a lot recently, and it's been amazing. It's kind of crazy, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but that's what's been going on, which is pretty big stuff. And I just haven't really talked to you guys a lot about it. There's just been a lot that's been going on behind the scenes with all of that. And just trying to be, you know, a better business owner and just have better priorities and, you know, kind of also tackling the economy and how that's affected the business and trying to figure all that out with my husband. And because it's been difficult, you know, I'm not going to lie, to balance everything. My top priority is homeschooling my kids, and I'm really good at it and I love it. So it's something that I've really poured a lot of my energy into, but I'm also still, you know, a business owner. Planning to Prosper isn't going anywhere. I'm not going to shut down the business, but maybe we need to take pressure off the business a little bit by cutting expenses, or we talked about Andrew like going back to work or having him help more with the business, just different things like that we're like kind of figuring out. But yeah, so anyways, all of that to say, that's why I started paying more attention to the analytics, is I'm like, well, these videos aren't getting views, and why am I making them? And it's like, I'm making them because I love to make them. And it's okay if I'm not getting 1,000 views on the video. Like, who cares, you know? My whole thing is like, you know, people are going to judge, and people for some reason will listen to videos that like they inherently like, you know, disagree with the viewpoint, or they don't support it or whatever. And I've gotten, you know, backlash for being a Christian. That's not anything new to me at all. And, you know, the stronger my faith is, the more, you know, God's just my foundation and nothing's going to shake that. So, you know, I share my faith and I get criticized, you know, in ways for that, and that's fine and everything. I understand there's a time and place for it, but at the same time, it's like, if sharing my faith is going to help that one person, if it's just one person who needs to hear that message today, then it's worth it, right? Like, one thing that I've always done is I've always just cared so much about what people think of me, and I've sought out acceptance from the world, and it's like I just need to seek out acceptance from God, you know? And that's what it's really boiled down to, is why am I caring so much what the world thinks of me, and I'm not caring enough about what God thinks of me? What does he think of me, what I'm doing, and stuff like that. And I've been kind of a coward with my faith. I'm not gonna lie, I've backed down very easily with it. And so it's just trying to navigate like what is the appropriate place for that, because I do have it on my heart to talk about it more. But anyways, so all that to say, that's kind of what I've been doing over here. It's just been a lot of reflection, a lot of like being very intentional with my time, a lot of just shifts in attitudes and mindsets and priorities, and establishing very firm boundaries and no longer feeling guilty for those boundaries, because I am by nature a people pleaser, and I will put everyone else before myself, even if it would go against like my priorities sometimes. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I just turned 37 not too long ago. So now I'm so much wiser. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But I don't know. I feel like I've just gained a lot of wisdom in the past year or so, really in the past few months. And I've really, I've just decided to make some changes. So that's really all it boils down to. And, you know, the way I look at it too is, you know, I'm in control of how I react to things, you know. And that's kind of how I should expect other people to be. Like, in terms of, if I establish a boundary and someone's upset about that boundary, it doesn't mean that I need to change it or I need to sacrifice it or whatever. It just means like, okay, that person, they're in control of how they're reacting to this. I'm not doing anything malicious. I'm not doing anything with evil intent. I'm not doing anything out of like anything personal against that person or those people or whatever. You know, because especially family and stuff, they're not really used to me not being available 24/7, and they know, like, if it's an emergency and stuff, they can call Andrew. Andrew doesn't have a problem with his phone or social media. I do. And so it's never like I'm intentionally ignoring people or whatever. And that's what I would worry about. And that's like, you know, text messaging is just amazing because it's like we can get in touch with people so much easier. But it also, I feel like, sometimes creates this expectation or pressure of like, okay, I have to respond right away, or sometimes it used to be back in the day. I remember I think it was like my 16th birthday, I had gotten this purple VTech phone, and my parents, they installed a phone jack into my bedroom, and it was just the coolest thing ever. I had this like fancy purple phone, and that's how people got a hold of me. I had to be home. I had to be in my bedroom in order to hear the phone, to answer the phone. And, you know, if I missed a call, then that was it. I wouldn't really, that was it. And now it's like with cell phones the way that they are, it's so much easier to get in touch with each other, which, yes, is such a huge blessing. But it also, I think, creates some guilt. I mean, if you can relate to me, let me know. Like, if you see a text message and you forget to respond, like, you feel like you have to come up with all these excuses of why you didn't respond, or you have to, like, I don't know, apologize like you did something wrong, when it's like, well, no, I'm just not available 24/7, and that's fine. Like, on the weekends now, I don't have any tech whatsoever because I'm very busy. This weekend in particular is going to be super busy. We are getting together, so I'm going to coffee with my Bible study leader tomorrow morning, and then we have church, and then I have a friend and her son coming over to do like dinner and movie night and all that kind of stuff. Saturday night, and then Sunday night we're gonna have dinner with my oldest daughter's best friend's parents. They're coming over, Ashley and Tim, to hang out with us and kind of all have dinner. So I prayed for a long time about God bringing the right people into my life, and I felt like I just needed more community around me that I could see, and he has provided like crazy, of course. Like, he's just opened so many doors through homeschooling, through our church, reconnecting with old friends, all that kind of stuff. So it's been pretty awesome. And I was like, I just want people who, even if they don't share my faith, like people who are supportive of my growth and who truly want the best for me, because I feel like it can be hard sometimes to find people like that. And I feel like, yeah, it's just kind of amazing, the way that God provides. And so we've been really busy with social stuff because of all of that. But it's all been really good. So, yeah, weekends are just really crazy busy, and I prefer to not be on tech at all over the weekend just because that's family time, So, the exception to that, of course, is going to be, I think, the rest of this month. I'm going to need to work on Saturdays in order to make everything happen that needs to happen for the 2024 planners. So there is that. But I'm very committed to, after the 2024 planners are out, like, weekends are family time. It's no work, no tech, like that kind of stuff. This weekend, there's just not going to be any time to work, but that's just boundaries that I'm setting for myself. So anyways, I know this is a whole bunch of randomness, so I'm sorry for that, but I just wanted to kind of share my heart with you guys a bit and open up about what's been going on over here, because it's been a lot. It's a lot of tough times, like a lot of just letting go of certain things and making big changes, but then it's also just been so like humbling and good, and just doing what I feel in my heart is right for me and for my faith, for my walk with the Lord. So and right for my family as well. And yeah, so that's everything that's been going on. Like I said, I'm so glad I finally got to sit down and plan out the week. I feel so much better that I've been able to do that. It's just hard to find the time just to plan, you guys, for myself, like between the business and homeschool and social things and all that. And then on top of that, just like, self-care. We've been going to the gym as a family, which has been great, but it's like every single second of my day is allotted to something. I don't have idle time at all. So I wake up at like 5 and then do my own Bible study, walk the dogs, homeschool for the first half of the day, go to the gym, work, get the kids ready for bed, and I go to bed. Like, there's no idle time. And so it's really hard for me to find the time to sit down and plan for myself, which, I love it. I love planning. So it felt really good to be able to sit down. I just need to find a time in a day. I'm thinking Sundays maybe, but then like the no tech thing is what makes that hard. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe Mondays I'll plan out the next week. I'll just need to find a time in a day on my calendar to let me get a drink of water. No coughing fits. I've made it this far. To like dedicate to just planning out my week and stuff, because my brain feels great after doing this. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you all have an amazing weekend, and let me know what you have going on. If you struggle with anything that I've talked about, or if any of it spoke to you, just know that, you're not alone, and hopefully this was encouraging to someone out there who maybe needed to hear a little bit about what I talked about or whatever it may be. But lots going on over here. The membership thing, like I said, I'm still planning on getting that going, but I have no idea when. I'm whatever is like extra or other things will probably wait until after the 2024 planners are out, because that's been a doozy too, let me tell you. I won't go into it because this video is long enough, but it's been, I haven't been happy with anything I've made so far. Let's just say that. So I'm kind of going through a little bit of a creative rut, and I know I'll get through it, but it's also kind of tough because it's not like I have all the time in the world, so there's some pressure there too. But just kind of trying to work through all of that. So anywho, I hope you have an amazing weekend, and then I will see you guys on Wednesday for another shop drop. All right, I'll chat with y'all later. Bye.